Good afternoon. Another video on the Hybird 2 machine. You'll get an echo. There we go. Right. So, first of all, is the machine worth the money? I'm still thinking about that actually. It is very expensive. I'll tell you that for one thing. Very expensive machine. And the consumables for it is also very expensive. Is it worth buying compatible stuff for it? Well, no, it ain't. Because I've bought compatible pads and they don't seem to be doing the job properly. I bought compatible compounds, blue one and a white one. The white one is supposed to be working on the Hybird, but it doesn't. The blue one kind of works, but it kind of like blocks up the little plastic nozzles every so often. So you've got to keep taking them off and washing them out. So the blue compound, although it's supposed to be compatible, and on the eBay site it states that a lot of people like it. So it kind of works in one way, but only with not the compatible pads you got. I had the original pads, which are I think £10 just for one pair on the website. Let me have a check. So the pads, you get 6 pairs of pads with the actual consumer, which I've had to order. The consumer, £67.50 plus postage and VAT and shit like that. I think with the original stuff, the machine's going to be, a home run. But when you're running compatible stuff, then no, don't get the compatible, because that's where I'm learning mistake. At least streaks, the pads ain't cutting down. I haven't thrown the old pads away. No, I still try to let them dry out and run. No, I did have 2 big bottles. Well, I've got the big bottle of blue, which I've already used half of, would you believe? And that ain't cheap either. You're talking about £30 for that one blue bottle. And it says, I'm not pointing the sellers down, but on their website, well, on eBay, I will tell you what they say on eBay in a second. Let me see how much the actual, just a pair of pads alone, just one pair is £10.50, and you can't get them on their website. They're sold out. So where you're supposed to get them from, I don't know. What they've done is they probably put it down as sold out, and they're making you pay the £65.50 for the consumer, for the actual consumer, where you get 6 pairs of pads, 2 bottles of compound, 1 timing chip, 2 of the pink plastic nozzle things, 1 of the no, I think it's 6 of the plastic suction cup things. Yeah, you get 6 of those, and you get that pink U-bend thing. No, I've explained it a few times before. I did buy a different bottle, a white Substance, thinking it's going to be pretty good, and I've actually bought some like little squirt bottles and put them into these. And I still got like enough to fill another half of one of these, but I've left it in the big bottle in the kitchen for now. Thing is, I made a big mistake on that one. I should have just bought the one and tested it out first, but because he only had like 4 in stock, I went and bought all 4 of them. This does not work hardly at all on the Hybird, but if you put plenty enough compound on a pad on a JFJ, it does seem to buffer the disc up quite nicely. So what I've been doing, if I've still got like the odd little very minor scratch on there, or a bit of like compound that hasn't gone through properly, I'll stick it on the JFJ, stick a bit of that on it, and then buffer it up that way. I'm not saying that the eBay sellers just put some shit together and make you think it's working, and probably logged on with different accounts and left comments saying, yeah, this compound, really great, like I'm glad that I bought it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It does state on his webpage site these products have been produced to work with the VMI Hybird 1 or 2 clean machines and contain 1 litre of compatible polish compound and 6 sets of pads. 6 sets of pads being these pads. They have been tested by us and a third party and have produced very good results. Just use it as you would the original. Also, do not have the nasty smell, or it does have a bit of a smell to it. It's just been giving me headaches. That is produced from other products that lingers in the cleaned media. Keep to the standard safety rules, keep out of reach of children, etc. The bottle contains 1 litre of product, which may look full as it holds over 1 litre and 6 sets of pads. The pads will not produce good results on PlayStation 3 games. As a start, there was not agreement on the hard coat standard was to be used. At the time, there was a number of standards, one being selected in the end. The one that is used on Blu-ray discs today. The pads can be ineffective on some PlayStation 3 games, depending on hard coat. The bottle cap may differ, blah, blah, blah. The pads have been fully tested across the movie, console, Blu-ray, movies and games, audio CDs, PS1, etc. And no issues have been seen. You require to clean out any previous polished compound from your machine, for which we will provide a syringe. Well, yeah, they provide a syringe, but how you meant to flush it out with a small syringe like that? If you're going to give someone a syringe, give them one of these fucking things, because it carries more water, and you ain't got to have the hassle of keep filling one of these up to keep flushing it out when you've got a big one like that. These are only a couple of quid each. These are a couple of quid each. What would you prefer, one of these or one of these? I'd rather have one of these bigger ones, not one of the small ones like that. At least that will hold a lot more hot water, and you can just like flush it out. Because when you're using one of these, when you're flushing that in your machine, it's going to take 4 or 5 flushes with one of these when it can only probably take 1 or 2 of these. Now, the thing being is that the blue compound is what I believe is thicker than the original compound that comes with the machine. I've got whistling in my ear now. I'm going to stop doing this cleaning on the Hybird for now, because I'm not happy with the pads, for one. The compound might be okay, but I'm still checking on the compound. But the thing being is that these pads to me ain't no good. No, they don't feel, they feel more softer than the original pads. These are the original pads, and I can feel, a lot of a difference on the original one, it's got blue compound on here, than these ones. These are a bit more like tense. These feel more softer than these ones do. So that's why I've had to order another, another consumable pack, because these pads just ain't doing nothing. Now, I'm running a disc. When I was running the disc, maybe, depending on how deep the scratch was, on these I could get a medium size scratch. If a disc had like several medium sized scratches on it, I could clean that disc up near mint, very good condition with these original pads in one go. If it was a very heavy scratch, and I mean very, very heavy, then I'd put it on like a 3-minute run on the machine. But if it's medium, I was only running for 2 minutes. But all those 2 minutes and all that compound builds up in cost. And that's a lot of money which I can't afford to keep spending out on. So I have ordered the a new consumer pack, as I say, £67. I'm not going to bother with these anymore. The guy was good enough to send me replacements ones because the other ones did not come through the post. The postman said that there's a delay because, my local post office got apparently short of staff, so that's why they've not turned up. But I don't understand that, because packages and recorded mail comes. I know, recorded and packages have more priority, I suppose. But when people are waiting for stuff and it's been a week and they've not turned up, especially with all the stuff off eBay, and you think, well, where is it? And you've got to put a complaint in to the seller saying, I've not received it, it's either got lost or someone's stolen it. But I have spoken to the postman and they said, there is a delay, because they are short of staff, and some of the staff has to do like double shifts. And I'm thinking, well, if they say when they doing double shifts, why are they not getting the letters out then? Because that would come through like a small letter, because they're so light. But if I'm going to use that machine a lot more, I'm going to have to keep buying the consumer pack every twice a month or something. I'll probably use it for like heavy scratches, or I might even just use it for fine and very minimal scratches. Run it through like a 30-minute cycle, because with that you can, I can't remember how many you can actually run through one set of pads. This is a test emergency alert from fuck off. I thought I had that turned off. They said today that, at 3 o'clock you're going to get the emergency test alarm. And I thought I'd turn my phone off, but I had to. Fucking scared the shit out of me then. I thought the TV was playing up. Where was I? I need a drink. I meant to go and do some shopping actually, but I can't be bothered. So the Hybird will probably be used for really minor faint and probably medium scratches. The disc which have got really bad scratches, I will run through the JFJ for a 10-second interview with coarse paper, then a 10-second interview with the soft paper, and then I'll use 2 buffing pads. this one, and this one. This one will be for the first polish, and this one will be for the final polish. And they still don't come out all that good, but you know, they're good enough. There's hardly any like marks or scratches on it. Then I might run it through the Hybird for 30 seconds. I don't know yet, but I would have thought even the compatible stuff would have done, you know, a decent job, but it's not. It's screwing up the machine. You know, I've got to keep using a screwdriver to like turn a little screw in there for the pressure for the pads to lay on the disc. Because I think the screw, what's in there, is pushing like a little lever up or something, I'm not sure. And as the lever is being pushed down with the lid, then it's like spinning around and like, you know, taking out the scratches and, you know, applying the compound and giving it the final polish. Now, there ain't no real demonstrations on how this operates really, you know, it's just like, it's like, you know, you're getting on a fucking motorbike and like learning, you know, kind of thing, you know, if you crash, you know. But, or in the car, get in the car and it's like automatic and it's not like manual when you're trying to drive a manual and like you can't get used to the gears. You're going to like crash into things all the time. That's what the machine's like. You got to try to set it so the discs are coming out, you know, like mirror shine near mint, not like perfectly mint, but pretty good condition where you can't see any scratches at all, you know. Even these fine ones, you know, even if you sold a disc right and you've cleaned it, yeah, like this one, I can see the compound on there still. You know, I can see the swirl marks, and that's from that machine. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because of the light in here. But you see those little dots? Around those dots, around here, around this area, you can see like where the polish has been put on, but it's not being taken off. You know, I had some pads in there earlier. I think they were the original ones that I had. And I was putting the PlayStation 2 ones in, and they was working pretty good. You know, they was coming out nice and clean. And I was using the blue compound. But then I got the message up, you know, CP, change pads. And I changed the pads over to the compatible ones, and it just messed up the machine again. I had to keep using the screw. And like, then I got fed up with them. I put a pair of these ones back in. And you know, I think these are a bit worn down now, so they ain't no good either. So that's why I've got to wait until Tuesday for the new set to turn up, the new kit. So I don't think it's worth me using that until the new kit comes, because then when that comes, I've got to flush. Yeah, what I might do is use one set of pads and see what happens with the compound I'm using. And then I can save the compound that comes in the kit for another day. Because I'm not going to buy any more of that blue compound because it just makes too much fucking mess on the machine. And because it's thicker, if it dries up a bit too quick, it's going to be a hell of a pain to flush those tubes out. And I'm not going to take that apart and put new tubes in because the new tubes are pretty expensive as well. The tube, where is it? The compound tube is £20, £20.50. But then if you like, I can actually put that into a cart now. All right, £20.50. View cart. If I go to checkout, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm just going to go to checkout. Now it's £20.50. Right, £20.50. But I've got to pay £31.74p. £31.74. Because you're charging me £5.95 on shipping and then £5.29 on taxes. Now, if I want to do, and that's shipping is through Yodel, 3 to 5 days. If I do it premium, DBD next day, it's £10. So then that knocks it up to £36.60. Just for one tube. Now the water tubing assembly is £22. So if I wanted to buy both of those and add that to cart and go to checkout, the compound and the water tubing would cost me £63.30. So, yeah, £63.30. Now the thing is, I would not have the guts, to be honest with you, to take that machine apart and change over the pads. No way would I. What I would have to do is, if the pipes needed changing, the thing is, I think, like when you're using compatible stuff, you might void the warranty. So if the warranty gets voided, the only other way I would probably get it fixed would be doing one of the service charges, and that is £175. That's gone up because yesterday I think it was £150, but £175, and that would sort out the turntable assembly, compound pump tubing, water pump tubing, nozzle assembly, left and right pad mounts to be renewed, the outer box for shipping, so that's like, the cardboard box, I suppose, and then 2 hours labour, and then they would like change the pipes, change the nozzle assembly, the turntable assembly. Now I wouldn't get it all done because everything to be done, like the centre bearing, front nail, motor bearing top, catch tray, water bottle, extra hours later. That would be £260. But if I had, because the bronze and the silver is different, but it says silver 260 with all the bronze benefits, but you only get a 3-month warranty on the parts that way. But if I paid £400, I'd get all the benefits of the bronze and silver, and I'd get 25% on discount on the consumables instead of 20, and then I'd get 12-month full warranty. If you see what I mean. So to be honest with you, it'd probably be better off, but a bit more expensive for me to get it serviced, because I think, if you void the warranty, they're not going to take it back. But a service, they might see different, because they got to understand that, these consumable packs are bloody expensive. That's why I decided to go the cheaper way, buying the compatible. But you don't know until you get it and you learn that the compatible stuff ain't no good. It just fucks your machine up. So someone said to me, send it back, get your money back. Well, that's not the point. I wanted the machine that does the discs in one go. Not like the JFJ where you got like sand it down once or twice, depending on the condition of disc, and then putting in like 2 different pads, one to like buff it and then another one to polish it. Now I'll still be using the JFJ. I've still got the other one in the liver and the new one, which I'm not even opened up yet. But I don't want to be sitting there spending 5 minutes on one disc with the JFJ when you can do one disc within 30 seconds to a minute on that machine. That's the reason I bought it. And I must admit, I have done quite a lot of discs. It's got to be nearly 250, 300 discs there, what I've done. But they're not all on that Hybird. A lot of them have been done on the JFJ as well. And the ones which I've been doing, like before I just put the stream on, the ones I've been doing the last hour, half hour, 3/4 an hour, haven't been coming out that brilliant. There's still like scuffs and smears from the compound. I tried running them through the JFJ, but that compound is stuck in a bit too much, I think. I've not even put that one through sandpaper. The thing is, that machine does not like PlayStation 3 games. Even the seller on eBay mentioned that, you will probably have issues with PlayStation 3 games because the PlayStation 3 games are a darker type of silver. It's not like the proper Blu-ray. It's stuff that they put on discs before they finalise the Blu-ray, and that, when you put it through there, it's just scratching them up to bugger. So PlayStation 3 games can be a bit of a hassle on the Hybird. But I am going to try the PlayStation 3s on the JFJ again, maybe later. Might be today, I don't know yet. To see how they come out on the JFJ, because that machine don't like. I've ran about 3 discs, PlayStation 3 discs in there, and each one came out completely shit. And company TR mentions that it will work on practically every disc, but it doesn't. So I was going to put an email through to the engineer saying, why is it not, fixing and repairing them off at PlayStation 3 games? Because all I seem to be getting is a lot of scratches and the compound ain't buffering in, and it's making the disc more worse than it was before I even put it in the machine. So that's another thing I'm going to be doing. I did send an email to him actually. I sent one yesterday. I can't think what his fucking name is now. Marking it. That should be under sent. Yeah, I said I've just ordered a consumer pack. Did not last that long. As I stated, I kept getting compound leakage and pads not taking enough of the disc film off, leaving scratches medium to fine. So I had to keep running disc time and time again. I ran out of pads and compound, now needing more soon as I expected to. I know one of the emails you said you would add extra pads. Any chance you can add a 3-bottle compound too for all the trouble I had with his machine? I was thinking of returning it to be sorted out. I nearly felt like asking for a refund, but I decided to give it one more go with the new fresh consumer pack. If that don't work within the first disc pad, and they had to send it back to you to see what's going on with the machine. I turned the screws so many times, clockwork and anti-clockworks. I had to just about sort it until, see, like, I just had it all sorted out and everything was coming out perfectly, fine, near mint condition, really good condition on each disc. And then the last pad gave up. And that was it. I couldn't do anymore until I got the compatible stuff. And this blue compound is making a hell of a mess in the machine, for one. It's thick, and if you don't bleed the compound before using it, it can get blocked up and harden. Then you're screwed. You will need a brand new bloody pipe tube. And because I'm using compatible stuff, so I don't know if they would actually allow me to send it back for it to be sorted out. Because then I would turn around and say, hey, like you use compatible stuff when you ain't supposed to. Although it doesn't mention anything in the instruction manual that you can't. No, if their consumable patch was cheaper, people wouldn't have to buy compatible stuff, would they, really? And I don't even know what I've done with the actual documentation paper. It's in like a little clip folder. I can't remember what I've done with it. I'll have to check on what their warranty thing says a bit later on. But yeah, if you're going to get one of these machines, don't, for fuck's sake, do not use compatible compound and compatible pads like these. So say these pads are more soft than these ones are. You can feel the difference to these pads, the original pads, to these compatible ones. You might be lucky to use these on like very fine scratches, maybe. But you don't want to keep changing over the pads, every 5 minutes. Like if you've got like 50 discs which have just got fine scratches on it, then you could probably buy a pack of these and give it a go kind of thing. And if it gets rid of all the fine scratches, fair enough. But for the heavy ones and medium-sized scratches, I'd say use your original ones. I know it means like taking them on, off, but use the original compound as well. Don't get the compatible ones because they're not really doing the trick. They're not doing the job. And the thing is, where I showed you that big bottle of blue compound, I bought that, then I bought another bottle around about the same size, but white compound, stating it's, compatible for that machine. And as I say, like, he only had 3 bottles left, so I went and bought the whole fucking 3 bottles, £26 each, and now I'm stuck with them. So, but I think they do seem to be okay on the JFJ. I did put a couple of discs on with JJ and like use these to buffer it, and they did come out a little bit better. So that ain't a total loss. If it means like putting the disc in a couple of times and using this a bit more, then I'll do that, because then that way I won't have to use this so much. Now I did order on a website a bottle of a JFJ compound, and I thought I was being ripped off because it was only like £30 and I was thinking, well, what about the postage? But it did say, any order over £25 is free. So I ordered it, and I got an email from a completely different website, And I'm thinking, well, what's going on here? So I was getting a bit concerned, thinking like, they've written me off. I'm not going to get the bottle of, was like one of those big tub things, the compound from that particular website I've ordered it from. So I rang the bank up and I told them I think I've been scammed. And I said, well, wait for 14 days. If it doesn't turn up, then ring us back up and we'll see what we can do about getting your money back. Then I started doing some Google research on the websites, and a lot of people said that they have been scammed and, money been taken, and, people didn't get their tracking numbers for either a couple of weeks or not at all, and people weren't getting their products. So that's the reason I rang the bank up in one way, but I still did do a bit more research after talking to the bank at 12 o'clock at night. They are open 24 hours. And yet, when was it? 2 days ago, suddenly I got another message from this Sora person with my tracking number. So I've tracked the number and a shipment has gone through, but it's very, very slow because it's still in the same location, maybe because of the weekend. But yeah, it seems to be coming through. So if it does come through, then all's fair, But someone mentioned that they ordered the JFJ compound from that website as well, and it wasn't as good. There's the normal JFJ compound, and they didn't get as much in there than you normally do in a normal JFJ compound tub. Now I'm talking about the 5 litre one. So I've just got to wait to see how that comes off. I spent so much fucking money on buying all this shit just to get the dish clean, so hopefully get rid of them later, make me money back. I can't even say that I've made me money back on these. Even like 200 plus discs. And that's without the cases and the manuals. I know I've got cases and manuals for, a good majority of them. But, talking about 2 or 3 quid a game, right? Let's say, let's do a calculator. Let's say I've got 100 games, right? And I was to sell them for like, say, £3.50, £4, say £4. Oops. £100 discs times by 4 point. Can't think. 4.50 in it. That's only £104.50. No, that's wrong. 4.50 times 100. £450. That's if I was able to sell 100 CIB games for £4.50 each. If I was to do them as they were, without no cases at all, no manuals, let's say like £2.50 times 100. That's only £250. I would have to sell about 500 games unboxed with no manuals as they are, just to make me money back on the machine, just the machine. I'm not talking about all the other extras that I've paid out for it. So really, I'm going to need to sell at least like 1,000 games to make, a good chunk of me cost back. And the thing is, I don't really want to be selling too many things because, like, you know, you get nasty people out there who's trying to cause you problems. So a lot of the games that I have got are kind of like going in my collection, and I'm trying to make them into like CIBs. And you know, the reason why I bought so many games was more an investment kind of thing. So later on, you know, I'm still alive in like 3 or 4 years' time, and the games have gone up in price, then I can start selling some of the games to make my money that way, and get some money back that way. Or, you know, if my grandkids want them when it's near enough my time to go 6 foot under, then they can have the whole lot and do whatever they want with them. You know, sell them, keep them, trade them, do whatever. But yeah, it is a bit of a pain in the arse. Keep buying stuff. You know, I've been a fool and a mug myself. You know, spending all this money out on, you know, just trying to get some games up and running. You know, I have actually repaired games because I've tried some games the other day, and it seemed like it was reading it, and it said like, please insert game or disk error. You know, can't read game or whatever. And that was on the Xbox. And I'd done about 20 games on there when the machine was working perfectly okay, and buffering them and cleaning them in very good condition. And all the games which it would not read or play, after putting them in the Hybird, they've been read straight away. No problems at all. And a few of them were very, very heavily scratched. I mean, very, very heavily scratched. But the Hybird done a better job than the actual JFJ would have done. That's the reason why I bought the Hybird. Yeah, I would have gone with the Echo Pro or the Eco Pro, but the guy on Amazon said to me, "Get the Hybird. You know, it's far more better than the Eco Pro. Cost effective, around about the same, but the Hybird does do a better job in cleaning discs than the Eco Pro does." So I took his word for it. But when the consumer pack comes through, I will use a pair of the pads with the blue compound, which is still in there, to see how good the games will come out. But if they ain't coming out that good, then I'll have to take the blue compound out, try and flush the pipe as best I can with hot water, clean the drip catch tray out, clean the front nozzle bit, and then put the new fresh white compound in and see how that goes. But I will have to mess around with the screw again to get it up and running properly. If I hadn't have got the compatible stuff, like I was stupid enough to do, I could have used the money and got a new compound consumer pack earlier last week, and I wouldn't have had to sit out screwing around, messing around with the settings, because I wanted to get stuff which was a bit cheaper. You know, the money I spent out on getting the compatible stuff, I could have probably got 2 original consumer packs from the TDR website. But there's a lesson that you learn. Anyway, I'm going to go. I've got a headache. And yeah, some of this compound does give you headaches if you're sitting there and breathing it in too long. So I'm going to go. Have a break from cleaning this shit up, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any gaming today. I might do. I don't know yet. I'll see how I feel, because I feel completely whacked out. I've got a headache. Feel a bit tired, exhausted. And yeah, that's it. Catch you all later. Bye for now.